Good morning and welcome back to the Brick by Brick podcast with Ronald Pauleus. I got Paul back on the show. He was with us a couple weeks ago and he talked about his journey, his story. One of the highlights that I took was do things that open doors. And I hope you've been able to do that between these episodes. Paul, welcome back. Thanks for being with us. I want to just jump right in. I want you to highlight your zone of genius. And what I mean by that is, what have you gathered throughout the years that you have found that just like this is what you do best? And how have you implemented that in your business now or businesses?
Yeah. Hey, Ronald, it's good to be here. Thank you. So, we talked a tiny bit about this before, but I have learned over time that where I thrive is as a builder,
Yeah. I,
and
I love
and
that.
I think it's what pulled me into engineering,
Yeah.
but it's what's really pulled me into business. I like to build. I thrive when I'm building, and so as an entrepreneur, it really resonates. But what I also recognize is it resonates. How do I say this? It's an ever changing thing for me. It means I can never be doing the same thing very long because you don't build a house forever. You build a
Yeah.
house for a certain amount of time and then you have to move to build the next thing, right? Maybe you build the first floor and then you have to build the second. And so I find that I am constantly changing. What I'm doing this year is not what I was doing last year at all, even though it's the same business.
I see. Okay. So that visual you gave on the way you see the world with builders and managers, and everyone
Yeah.
has that superpower. Like everyone falls into that one of those categories, and I think that building concept is so insightful. But people, we need the managers too, and so
Oh, companies don't work without somebody running them. Yeah, exactly.
what do you feel? Because I'm thinking about my listeners here. Because I'm with you. I'm a builder. I'm a
Mm,
visionary. I have the ideas, and I mean, just this past week, I I have an assistant that works with me. He's amazing, and I've delegated managing to him, like recording receipts for my fix and flips, recording receipts for my rentals, and paying utilities. Not because I can't do it. I can do it in a minute, but it's because I I don't extract joy from it. I
yeah,
don't like it. How were you able to figure out you were a builder?
yeah. So another term sometimes I give it, and I'm going to just share this for for the visual purpose that I think people grab onto, is an inventor.
Okay.
If you think about like anybody, I hesitate to throw out names because if I say Alexander Graham Bell, somebody will say he didn't really invent that one thing, somebody else did. But inventors didn't just have ideas. And one thing I learned in my career over the years, one of the cheapest things in the world is ideas,
Mm.
right? And so I always kind of push back on some people when they say, I'm a visionary, and then they finish that by saying that they come up with all the ideas but don't implement anything.
Yeah, yeah.
There's, in my personal opinion, this is just the book of Paul. Inventors are the people that had an idea and then found a way to make that idea work. They just didn't take it to
Mm.
mass production.
I see. Okay.
Like they figure out how to make a light bulb work or how
Yeah,
electricity
yeah.
can run through a wire and go, oh crap, this is so cool. This can work for so
Mm.
many things. Hey, Jimmy, why don't you do that?
I
And then
see.
they start doing something else, right?
Yeah,
Like to
yeah.
me, that's what a visionary really is, not just an idea generator. That's, at least in my experience, ideas have never been a shortage in any business I've ever been part of, in any industry I've been in. But builders and inventors are short. The people
Mm.
that can take that idea and actually at least
Yeah.
make the minimal viable product, the MVP, right? And go, okay, this actually could work. But then a lot of times people like me, we struggle on the next one. Because I'm like, hey, this could work. I just don't really want to deal with it. Like, I don't want to be part of that, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so what I had to learn last year is, okay, I can go implement these things. I am implementing them. I run a transactional funding business. I was doing it. I had a CRM, I had systems, I had contracts, everything worked. But I realized, as you said, I don't get the joy out of running the business. I get the joy out of creating the next thing, the next this or whatever. And so what I found was an amazing business partner that
Yeah, yeah.
we cross over quite a bit. He's very creative. He's super smart, but he's also got such a good engineering mind where he is really good at running the operations of something. And then he also understood in him, he's not really the guy that likes to touch it with his hands, though. He likes running and managing operations. And so having the right staff members on our team that he's kind of guiding, he's more of the orchestrator, right, of the operations. It works fantastic for us. And so what I ended up starting moving into, because he was taking that off my plate, was, okay, let's open up a school channel and start having a school group that's now learning this and going out and finding deals and growing our acquisitions.
Boom.
How
Yeah.
do we raise more capital in our fund? How do I spend my time on building relationships and bringing money into the fund and getting that started and grow? And so that's the fun thing for me is
Yeah.
going in. Now the hard thing for me is to just keep doing it. Like I feel I'm like the poster child for whatever it is, ADHD or AC, whatever. I don't know which one it is. Total poster child.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, what do you do after you've built it and passed it on?
Build another thing. So I have a debt recovery business with a different partner building.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just there's so many things out there to do, right? There's just it's just crazy. Right now I'm spending a decent amount of time messing with agentic AI so that I don't have to do almost anything. I'm a big believer in Dan Martell's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
theory of buying back your time.
Yep, yep, yep,
Think
yep.
about what you're doing. What is it that I don't get a lot of fun from and joy from and that I'm not special at? And then find a way to not do it. And
Yep.
then use that next time to do some cool thing you wanted to do, but you didn't have time to do, right? There's always cool stuff out there to do. Yeah.
Dan Martell's concept of buy back your time is amazing, phenomenal. And Alex Hermosi, he also talks about, he said the most return somebody could get with their money not he talks about education, but this is just personal life. He says, get somebody to make meals for you, get somebody to clean, get somebody to do laundry, like get somebody to do the tasks that take 20 hours of your week that they have to be done. You need clean clothes for the next week. But then like buy back your time and it gives you 20 weeks to do something amazing and cool. For my listener, Paul, when you were talking, I said to myself, okay, you got to a place where you could delegate, where you could partner, where you could hand off, okay, I've built this, I've implemented it. Why don't you take it to the next level and then manage it? Uh, What do you tell the person who's like, okay, I'm actually doing all of that right now?
Mm,
I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
mm.
What encouragement do you have? What direction? Like, what do you say to that person?
Man, that is so good. And that is a tough place, that we all are at. So one is recognize you're just normal and you're just an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
that's how it should feel. And if it never feels that way, you're not doing enough,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the feeling that oftentimes comes with that is overwhelm. And I steal
Mm,
from Pace Morby on that, where Pace Morby will oftentimes say something along the lines of, stop complaining that you're overwhelmed because it just means you have too much good stuff. Just take from the table. And I think about that a lot. I have this visual image in my head of a big, long, like picture the movie tables where like the king and queen are dining a bunch of people on this table and it's just filled with food. If
Okay.
I
Yeah.
showed up and they said, you got to eat it all, I'm going to feel so overwhelmed and it's going to be miserable, right? If I
Yeah.
show up and they say, help yourself, right?
Mm.
That's totally different thing.
Yeah.
Totally different thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think too often we feel like just because we have a lot, we have to do everything and not help
Oh, I
yourself.
like that.
Like take the
I
best
like
stuff,
that.
focus on the best stuff. Don't worry, you don't have to
Wait,
eat all of it.
yeah.
You can eat some later,
That's so
like,
good.
and so I think giving ourselves the grace to say, it's okay, I don't have to do everything is really helpful for our emotional state. The other thing is be willing to give up more than you want to give up of your business.
That's hard.
Because a lot of us are
Oh,
honestly being greedy when we say, hey, I got all this stuff, I can't handle it all. Somewhere in there, we're also saying, but I'm not going to bring somebody else in because they'll want part ownership and I don't want to give it up.
mm,
Let go.
yeah,
Let go. Own 10% of 100 businesses,
yeah,
right? Go like you
yeah,
don't need to hold everything. It's
mm,
not that scarce. Good ideas are not that scarce. Good
love,
businesses are not that scarce.
I love
There's
that.
so much out there. And if you're the kind of person that is doing this, you're on this journey, accept the fact that you are in the 1%. You are one of the crazy people that are willing to be an entrepreneur. You're taking this crap on, right? You're feeling that overwhelm and dealing with all those challenges. You can keep doing, like, you can keep building forever. There's too
Mm,
much stuff. If you hold too tight, all you're doing is keeping your business small so that you can never get out.
I love
You
that.
want to get out. Like the goal, your hat, owners club. The goal should always be how do I become an owner? Not
Mm,
how do I employ myself? If
yeah,
you have to show up today for your business to function, you're just an employee to yourself,
mm,
right? And
yeah,
if you can say, hey, I can leave for the next 2 weeks and things will be fine, they might even be better because I'm not there. Now you're an actual owner, right?
yeah.
And if you're honest with yourself, they're usually better when you're not there. Because when you're there, you're like nitpicking and getting like your finger and you're
Perfection.
screwing things up for other people that are running a machine, right? And
Yeah,
visionaries like you, Ronald, I'm going to pick on you, even though we don't know each other super well.
it's fine.
I'm guessing that when you have somebody running a machine and you show up and start tinkering, you are a distraction and you're not helping, right? Because you're a
Yeah,
visionary
probably.
trying to like, and they're trying to like make the business machine hum, right?
Mm,
And if you are doing both, that you're just a new an entrepreneur, right? Like we all do all of it at the beginning, unless you're some kind of lucky soul. So I would say those things like don't let overwhelm bug you as much as it feels like it does. Be willing to give up a lot. I would
um,
even say, you know what? If it's your first business, what's more valuable, learning how to become an owner or making money?
learning how to
Honestly,
become an owner. Well, making
you know
money
what
at
I mean?
the
Like,
beginning, but yeah, that and that I think, Paul, the so for me it was getting out of my W-2 as a high school teacher. Did not like
ooh,
the job. We were on lockdown one day because we thought there was a school shooting. There was a kid playing with a laser on Instagram Live or something, and some kid sent it to
somebody
their
called
parents,
in.
called the police. It was like, and I'm thinking, I'm literally, Paul, I'm in this classroom and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna die here with these kids that are, anyways. And my beautiful wife, Joanna, and my firstborn daughter, Ava, is at home.
Yeah,
These kids, we're literally in lockdown. It's quiet, turn the lights off. Like, it's a real, like, we
that's
didn't know what was
scary.
happening.
All over a laser pointer, everybody got that
Literally.
kind of stress experience. Yeah.
And we're there, and these kids, Paul, these kids are giggling. They're not taking anything seriously. They're giggling.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I was like, I'm gonna quit, but I couldn't. And so
Mm,
I think what happened was when I got into real estate, it was anything to get away from that job. And so I'm doing
yeah.
all of it. I'm just needing to get a next check. Okay, $5,000, 6,000, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a place where I'm doing everything like I did before, and I want to be done with the receipts,
Yeah.
paying the utilities. And I think my question for you, Paul, is how do you, when you're coming out of when you're coming out of your W-2 or whatever your situation was before,
Yeah.
and it was just, I don't care if I'm working 50 hours a week to get a check, where do you feel or what would you say to that person? Like, you need to start thinking about owner. Like it's possible for this business to run without you when before you're like, I don't, are you sure?
I don't, yeah, yeah, yeah. If I don't show up. So, yeah, that whole string, I think so much of this depends on what we believe is okay in life, right?
Mm,
We talked a
okay.
little bit before. When I'm building a business, it is springtime in my life. It is not fall. I
Yeah.
am planting, I am not harvesting. I don't expect to harvest. I expect to be up to my shoulders in dirt
Yep.
and
Yep.
sweat and grind and fatigue. If that's what I expect, I'm not disappointed
Yeah, you're
when
okay
I'm
with it.
just grinding and I'm not making money because there is no harvest yet. I think a lot of people go into it expecting immediate harvest.
Mm,
That's just not what I expect out of life. So maybe, I come at it from
mhm.
a different angle. Maybe it's not as good of an angle as some people. So for me, if I was saying, hey, I'm in a W 2, I want to leave, the first thing I would be saying is, what is it that I'm going to go do next? And how can I do that right now on the side as much as possible? How can I
Mm,
start my spring planting and work on the side of my W 2? How many hours can I get in during the nights? How much can I work on Saturday?
I
I
see.
try to avoid Sundays. That's a
Same. I'm with
that's
you.
a day that I try not to let that I have a
Mhm.
line somewhere, but
Day of
but
rest. Hmm.
but 14, 15, 16 hours a day is not something I've ever shied away from
Mm,
to to plant
yeah.
my ground, right? Because I know it's a temporary period. I know
Mm,
it's not for the rest of my life. I
it's so
know
good.
spring and summer have their period
So
and
good.
they pass,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
my opinion is go like, what is that thing you're going to do? If you're going to start wholesaling is a way you can make money to replace a W 2 for sure. It's also one you're not going to go kill it in your first month.
Yeah.
So go figure that out. Go find somebody good at it. Make the sacrifices to learn from them. Make the sacrifices to spend the time to grind, to figure out the systems, to figure out how it all works, right?
Mhm.
Because once you figure out how it all works and you're going and now you're starting to make money, that's the point that you have to ask yourself, is this scalable?
Yeah.
Right? If your idea is not scalable, and I shouldn't have used wholesaling because it's absolutely scalable. But let's say you're doing something where there's only 20 people in your city that will ever buy it.
Yeah.
It's not really scalable. You can only make 20 times whatever you sell it for, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at it and you go, okay, wait, this is actually scalable. Now, how do I bring somebody in that loves the part I don't love and be
Yeah.
patient with that? I would never make a partner with somebody I hadn't worked with for 6 months.
Oh yeah.
I don't mean worked with in something else. I mean worked with in the business I'm going to partner. So like me and my business partner in the real estate fund or in the lending business and the fund, we were like a junior high school couple. Like you're kind of I
It's a
like
thing.
this person, they like me, and then like that goes on for a long time and then like a little note, will you be my boyfriend? Like what I
Yeah.
mean is like it just kind of grew and we slowly worked more on deals hey, can I use your system for this deal? And we slowly just engaged every day talking about stuff and realized, okay, this is how he thinks, this is how he perceives things, this is what he enjoys, this is what he doesn't like, this is where he wants to get to. Over time, you really figure that out. This is how he reacted to that
Mm.
bad deal. This is how you start seeing that and you go, okay. And what I love about him is I'm emotional. Like
Mm.
for an engineer, so check this out.
Yeah,
I
that's interesting.
I
Yeah.
am the biggest robot nerd ever from my resume. I have a undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering and an undergraduate in Japanese and a
Ah,
graduate degree in finance and a graduate degree in strategic accounting. Like I am who pocket protectors were made for, right?
yeah,
But the funny thing is as a personality, I'm very emotional. I
mm,
don't want to deal with details anymore.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very much, I want to invent and build and create. What I found in my business partner is he's very stable,
Ah,
right? So
okay.
I will get like all fired up about something and he can still like
Yeah,
see the
no,
horizon
yeah,
and keep the ship. Like I would have been cranking that thing over, and doing, and he
nice.
like keeps it like on an even keel. That's so healthy for the two of us. So it's not just what do you like as far as work, but how do you engage? Sorry to go down this
Oh,
track so far, but I've had partners that were not that way. I've had partners that I didn't spend enough time seeing how they performed. I ended
mm,
up in a partnership with them, a legal, company
mm,
together, and found I'm doing 70 hours a week and they're doing 6.
yeah,
And you're like, what the,
yeah,
I feel like I work for them. I report to them
yeah,
once a week and you're like, what the crap? I started this business. What's
yeah,
so I would definitely recommend find that thing on the side of your W-2. Sorry to talk about so many things all at once, but find that thing on the side that you can really put your passion into. Be willing to commit a ton of time and just accept the fact that you're going to miss a lot. You're not going to be doing all the fun things in life because you're going to be working your butt off for a while. And like just accept it's planting season, in your life. And
yeah,
then when you start making money and it starts working, you start thinking, be open to giving away a lot to a partner. That might mean you need to keep your W-2 for a while more.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's fine
That's
if
fine.
now you got somebody picking a bunch of that stuff up for you. You get to focus on something. Keep that W-2 as your stability while you're doing all this, right? Grow, just be patient. Be patient with the growing season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I grew up with a dad that made me freaking plant, and we grew up right in the city, and we had like a 1/4 acre of garden behind us that every day I came home from school, and in the spring it was planting, in the summer it was weeding, in the fall it was. So my analogies are going to be the painful
Yeah,
ones from my
no,
youth.
I love them. They're not pitiful at all. In fact, Jim Rohn, he in one of his speeches uses that, and
Does
it's
he?
really
Dude, that
molded
guy's
me.
amazing.
He's really molded me because he said, "You got to realize there are 4 seasons, and there are different things you do in each of these seasons. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do when winter comes, you're probably going to be begging." And I think it's so, but what you added for me, the puzzle piece that gave me a clearer picture you just put in was if you know what season you're in, you're gonna be okay doing what you're doing because this is my time to plant. Like I'm not gonna expect the tomatoes and the green beans right now. It's not harvest season. And if I'm in
Yeah,
winter, I hopefully have worked during my harvest to store up to be ready for the winter. And I'm okay that
yeah,
nothing is working itself into the ground because I mean, I think because of the season I'm in.
so
So
true.
I think that analogy is probably what we needed to hear because we could have a tendency, humans, some more than others, me, I can have a tendency to want this to have worked 14 days ago, but I only started 12 days ago.
Yeah, 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 right.
And I want 10x returns. I want to go hard or go home, go big or go home. But that's just not how life works all the time. Yeah, there are moments where you get a big break and you get that one deal that is insane and you get this and you get that, but 90% of the time it's just a regular slow grind, tilling the ground to make it be ready to get the seed. And
Yeah.
I think that's so rich, Paul. I think
And
that's
it's not a bad thing. And it's not long. I mean, you think about your analogy just there. You're talking about 12 months. You went through all four of them. It doesn't have to be forever, but I promise the farmer that decides they're not getting up at 5 and working until 8 p.m. in the spring, they are not enjoying the same fall that the dude that gets up and does that hours. But they're working 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. And a lot of people would say, well, I'm not willing to do that. You probably need to question whether or not you should be an entrepreneur,
mm,
right? You might be a better employee.
that's
The
a hard question.
entrepreneur owns the farm and shows up at 5 a.m. His staff shows up at 8 or 9 and goes home at 5. He's still working till 8, right?
Yeah.
But in the winter,
Uh,
he's got all of his harvest sitting there. He's not getting up at 5 and working to 8 in the winter, or
yeah.
even maybe. And so I just think that it's healthy for me to be able to accept that and recognize that and say, hey, it's fine. It's a period. It's a period of life. And what do I want? What do I really want? Now, my father-in-law has a great saying. He started his own business in Kagoshima, Japan. And his saying was, I want to make enough money that it looks like Mount Sakura is it's a volcano is exploding. Like it sounds the way he says it in Japanese is great. Essentially saying like my goal is I want it to just be, you know, if you want that goal, you have to accept the work that leads to that goal,
Yep, 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 yep,
right?
yep.
If you want, hey, I want to be able to be home every day at 4:30 and I want to, well, then that's a different commitment we make. I have a uncle or a brother-in-law that's what he wanted.
And that's
So
okay.
he took W-2 jobs that let him get off at 4:30 in the afternoon and have that time. And that's what he wanted in life. He would never have the right to complain about not having $50 million in his bank account,
Yeah,
right? Just like
yeah,
I would never have the right to complain about not having 10 hours a day of free time.
yep, yep, yep,
We
yep.
make choices, right? And so I assume most of your audience are people that are wanting to own things, take some risk, be entrepreneurs. How do they make that journey work? How do they get through the hard years? And some of it, I think personally, and I bet we're probably in the same place here, is just accepting it is hard.
Yeah,
And it's fine. Enjoy the hard.
yeah.
Like enjoy the mud on your arms because it's not going to be there later in the year. You're
Ah,
going to miss it. You know what I mean? Or
so
you're a moron like me. And as soon as it starts getting fall, you're like, hey, can I move somewhere that's spring right now? Like I just keep trying to find a new spring to work on something. It's a
ah,
personality flaw.
Paul, I know that's rich. I mean, the visual there, and it resonates because I think it can allow people to be satisfied and to be happy. Because
Yeah.
when you're dissatisfied in the season because you don't know what is required of you of that season, or you want to be in a different season, like you just mentioned, you do all of your work uh, with uh with a level of sadness, with dissatisfaction, with anger, even at times like I wish this was. But when you can get to the place where you're like, this is where I'm at, this is a season, and this is what I do in this season, you're right on it. It unlocks a level of satisfaction and joy. And
That's
you're
good.
just this is exactly what I worked for, and I reaped exactly what I sowed. It's that
Yeah.
Bible
Yeah.
verse, right? You reap what you sow. Okay, I'm not mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
No, you said it better than me. I love that. And I love the added the word joy. The only thing I would say is we never actually reap what we sow. We always reap more than we sow.
Mm.
There is like a fundamental eternal principle out there that when you work hard and you commit and trust, and I'm going to add faith into that, because you are having faith that this will play out, right?
Yep.
You always, God, it just seems like always to me, but maybe I shouldn't say that word. You tend to end up being blessed way more
Yeah.
than you deserved, right? That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you didn't work your butt off. Didn't mean you didn't try hard. Didn't mean you didn't think and do everything right. But it always feels like harvest is bigger than the work that went into the harvest, you
I
know?
think
And I love that. I love that you reap more than you sow. Even though I know the Bible says you reap what you sow, I think it was underselling. I, I think something was lost somewhere
there's much
between
more
the
grace there.
Hebrew and the Egyptian and the German in that. And I
Right.
love that. It's such a it's such a wonderful world we live in that we're able to constantly grow the pie. It's
Yeah.
not a zero sum game. You succeeding doesn't mean I have less. It's
Yeah.
just wonderful. Yeah.
We're running out of time, but I mean, so many threads. The scarcity mindset you spoke against and said you need to have an abundant mindset. Just right there, you said there's enough. You're in Utah, I'm in Oklahoma City. You're doing deals, I'm doing deals, and there is no like, man, Paul did that and I just lost. Like none at all. There there is a big pie. And then the other thing you just highlighted was like the ability to just to reap Alex Hermazi said it like this. He said it it first it's slow and then it happens all at once. And what I gathered from that was at the beginning you're learning how to underwrite a real estate deal. You're learning how to raise funds for a deal. You need transactional funding, so you go to real quick funds, or you like whatever it is. It's
Mhm.
so slow, and then all of a sudden, you got five deals you're funding when before you barely had one. you have you got three rentals you're taking down in 1 month when before you took one down in a year, right? Like you put in the work and then the magic of compounding and what I say, Paul, is on my other episodes or the way I usually open this podcast is with welcome to the Brick by Brick podcast. We talk about principles God's woven throughout our universe we could take advantage of. Like anybody can start doing the thing using these principles, and there is no way you don't get a return. And that's it
Yeah.
with the hard work. Like the magic of compounding comes in, and like I had an appointment. We don't have time. We don't have time. I had an appointment yesterday. I had a conversation. Was able to get the guy under contract. In my conversation, or in our conversation, he says, "I have another house you can look at." I'm doing the work. I'm doing the hard stuff. He got
It's
an
just,
attorney on the line. It's negotiating. He has a number. There's real estate in realtors he's spoken to, and another investor, his landlord, that is interested to look at the house. Like I'm weeding through all of that to try to get a contract that day. Got the contract, and he says, "I have another house that if you want, you can make an offer on." Out of
yeah.
nowhere, one house became two.
Yeah. And it's exactly like that, right? It's exactly like that. And it comes and you just have to be thankful. Since you are a religious man, I'm gonna use a quote that I think is one of the most important quotes in running a business. It was not intended for business. It was given by an amazing man, President Nelson, that said, "Let God prevail." And
Oh,
the more you think about that and more you think about what that means for you in your life,
oh,
to me, that means read the scriptures in the morning, say your prayers in the morning, invite him into your business, ask him what you should be doing. He cares about each of us and what we're doing.
yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't care about my business because of my business. He cares about my business because he cares about his kid. Sorry to
Yeah.
use colloquial phrases like that, but
Yeah, right on.
let him prevail and everything will be okay.
Ah,
And things will not be okay. Things will be outrageously good,
yeah.
right? Like he
Ah, that.
doesn't say pray for what you need. He says pray for what you desire,
Yeah.
right? He will bless us way beyond our needs. But I
Uh,
try to remind myself of that because I'm terrible at it. I am horribly bad at it to the point that on my calendar every day, I have something in the morning called first things first to remind myself
I love it.
to do the first things first in the day, meaning read your scriptures, say your prayers, ponder, be thankful. And at the end of every day, I actually have an AI tool that reminds me to close my day, and it asks me, what three things are you thankful for today? To
Ah,
remind myself to be thankful because I'm inherently not
yeah.
the good person that would do these things every day without being reminded. So I have to remind myself, let him prevail. Stop trying to
So,
prevail,
ah,
you know? So sorry for the
no.
tone, you know, if that doesn't go over well with some of your audience, but I just really think that you want to succeed in life, let him in, let him participate in your business. You'll kill it
Ah,
because he never loses.
yeah.
I'm ideal. You know? So
So good.
I'll leave it at that. But thanks for letting me share that thought.
Thank you for, I mean, being here. We are, I've said it probably 5 times. We're running out of time. We probably need
Yeah,
to
sorry, man.
continue the interview in a couple months. Guys, you're listening. You're on a drive to work. You're taking a jog, whatever it is. And the threads I want you to take is figure out what season you're in, be happy in that season, and realize that you won't be in that season forever. Seasons are cyclical. It'll come back again. And if you did not if you did not plan as much as you wanted this season, you got another one coming. Just don't ruin this one hoping for another. And then let God prevail. that, that's so rich. And this is from the last episode, but I think it echoes here. Do things that open doors. And like Paul said, do the hard things. Do the hard things, and you will reap much more than what you sow. Guys, thank you for listening to the Brick by Brick podcast. Paul, thanks for joining us. How can people
Thank
continue
you, Ronald.
with you on
Yeah,
social
thank
media?
you so much. You can find me at Paul_Brown_funds, Paul Brown Funds at Instagram, YouTube. And then
Awesome.
we run a school community, a SKOOL community called Transactional Funding Hub. Thanks for letting me join you, man.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. We will catch you on the next episode.